Hello and welcome to part 8 of the Advanced Terrain tutorial series. This will also be the final installment in the series. After doing the last tutorial and also reviewing the older videos, I came to the conclusion that we've pretty much covered everything we need to be able to recreate the kind of terrain that we can see here, and also where we started at the beginning with the introduction video. This is the blackout geometry that came with the COD4 version of the tools, and if you were watching that introduction and you'd never used or worked with terrain before in Radiant, you probably would have looked at something like this and gone, yeah, I'll never be able to do that. But hopefully, if you followed along with the tutorials and the series that we're just about to finish, then if I've done my job right, I should have shown you everything you need to know to be able to recreate this kind of terrain for your own map. So in this final video, we're just going to do a last review, and hopefully we'll be ready to tackle some sort of terrain like this in our own map. So now, hopefully, after watching all of the videos in this series, we should be able to look at a piece of terrain like this, break it down, and be able to understand how it was put together. Like, for example, this pathway here, we could lay in, like I've showed you, our basic patch to start with, and then build up from there, even using it in a more vertical situation for this wall, and then connecting it over to our cliff edge or cliff face, whatever you like to call it. And of course, adding in vertices for displacements and blending, as we can see here. And overall, I said it at the very beginning, planning is very important, and that's where we should always begin, having a plan and keeping to it. Obviously our map evolves as we get going, but if you have a plan and an idea of where you want to go, what features you want to create with your terrain, it's going to make it so much easier to be able to reproduce stuff like this. So during the course of these tutorials, we've learned how to create a basic terrain patch. We've learned how to add and remove vertice columns. We've learned how to split our patches, weld vertices together, re-merge our patches, create displacements using the vertices in our patch, switching edge lines around to create a smooth appearance without the need to add more vertice columns. We've learned how to use various tools to create displacements and also how to blend. We've also learned how to create and introduce or build basic roads into our map using our vertices and our patches to create curves. We've also learned how to add terrain in around our roads or our paths or whatever it may be, adding more terrain as we go, adding vertices, removing vertices, welding everything up, connecting everything together. We've learned how to merge or connect up patches that contain different density of vertice columns. We've learned how to dissipate vertices across patches to keep control over our assets, and hopefully we've learned everything else we need to know to be able to recreate this sort of level of detail that we want with our terrain in our own maps. If I've done my job right, that should be the case. I really hope you've enjoyed this series of tutorials. I know it's been about 3 years in the making, but what really matters is they are now complete. I really hope that we can continue to use these in the future version of Radiant, or if it is even Radiant, who knows, I've got no idea. But I have purchased a copy of Black Ops 3. I'm going to start studying the level designing, everything they've done with that game. If I see anything interesting as far as geometry goes, I'll probably do a video on it to see how we can recreate it using the current versions of Radiant. Hopefully we can still use them when the other tools are released. If not, never mind, we'll just do more videos, eh? So with that being said, that brings us to the end of this tutorial and the end of this advanced terrain series. Again, I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's been informative, and ultimately I hope you've learned how to work with terrain in your maps. So thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy.